All right, guys, we're gonna get started here. All right. Hello, everyone. So glad that you could join us tonight. I'm Robbie Lear. I'll try to navigate the ship here tonight, but everyone is probably looking forward to having Mayor Terosis here. I am as well. In the meantime, I think we'll get the meeting started with a couple of our other agenda items, and then when she gets here, we'll hear from her. So just to kind of set the stage, the mayor, we've got two merchants that are going to share a little bit about their businesses tonight. We have our fire department and police department guests. And then, we have some exciting updates to kind of like talk through. I'm specifically thinking about Main Street. I'm sure there's a lot of other ones. But I was going to start things tonight here with Kelly. Kelly, why don't you come to the front here, and she's our merchant of the month here, and a new one at that. So that's pretty exciting. I'll let you have the floor.
Hello, my name is Kelly Mole. It's not hard to remember, last name Mole. I'm in education. It's not the best last name for education when you work with high schoolers. And as far as merchants go, this is more of education information. I am the Dean of Parents for Santa Monica Alpha School. If you've driven by down on Main Street, there is a new build, a refurbished build over on the corner of Pier and Main Street. And we are a brand new school here, obviously, but also Alpha schools are spreading across the nation very, very quickly. There's going to be about 15 new schools that are opening up across the nation and about 5 more schools across the state of California. One in Malibu, one potentially in Beverly Hills. There's one in New Manhattan Beach, here in Santa Monica. There's one that's already opened up in Lake Forest. There's one that's opened up in Santa Barbara, and they have a school in San Francisco, and there's one that's opening up in Palo Alto. The majority of these schools that I just listed, other than San Francisco, Lake Forest, and Santa Barbara, have already opened. So what kind of school are we, and what do we do? We have 3 very specific goals. I'm sure we've all gone to school, I know what school's like, right? Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure that you've seen many different types of schools and models come and go over your time, as I have as well. This is a very innovative model that's taken place, again, like I said, across the nation. And there are 3 foci, which are kids love school. And so they actually measure this and quantify it over time, that there is 2 hours of learning twice as fast, and that we teach core life skills. Thanks, Kelly. How's that different than anywhere else? We have students only on screens for 2 hours, and the next 4 to 6 hours, kids are out in the world in entrepreneurship, whether it be rock climbing, learning how to surf based on their curriculum. In addition to that, our school runs primarily in supporting students with understanding and have a very strong understanding on how to use AI as they move into the future, which the strange thing about that is you think with AI, you'd be on computers longer. They are not. And so our focus is not to have students on screens for many, many hours. It's actually the opposite. So we would love for you to come by. We don't open until the fall. So if you have any questions, again, thanks to Sean and thanks to Robbie for inviting me. Like I said, it won't be hard. If you need to say, I just want to talk to the mole lady, that will work. That will be me. And again, I'm Kelly Mole. And if you have any questions, I'm really happy to answer them. And thank you for bringing me into the community. So yes, what's the age range? That's a great question and a very important question. So we're running pre-K through 8 in our first year here when we open up in the fall, and then we'll open up a 9th grade program, and then we'll add on from there. In terms of that, what makes me, and I know this wasn't your question, but since I'm talking about adding on, what makes me qualified to do this job? I've opened schools for about the past 24 years, and I started opening Aspire public schools up in Northern California. I'm not California born and raised. I'm Detroit. I'm a big D. So, but we opened Aspire public schools and supported the opening of those, and then I moved over to London for many years to open up academy schools out there. Opened up a series of Wish charter schools over in Westchester. I founded Wish Academy High School, and then from there I've moved into Alpha schools. So always enjoy being on kind of the innovative wave of what's coming next. So we will run K through 8, and then we'll add 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 as we continue. Yes.
You said open 2 hours, I mean, or, really, is that gonna be staggered, those are gonna be just open 2 hours and do the rest of the day?
They're only on computers for 2 hours, so it's gonna be open for the normal time any school hours are, and 8:45 to about 3:30, and that's because parents want their kids in school and they don't want them at home. They want them out, yes, so we don't have any parents that say, keep my kid for 2 hours and then send them home. They definitely say keep them out. Yes.
I'm trying to visualize the building, is it where the one light was or the,
It's kitty corner from Narwhal Coffee,
uh-huh.
and I think before, I think it was was it an art student?
Jim.
Was it a gym before?
Disney type of kind of.
Yeah, well, I've had a few people who refurbished it said there was the art section of it, and there was a comic strip section, so it could have been a number of different things. I think the instance it's been refurbished, when they said, come on over, our school's ready. Yeah, which it's not ready.
Any last questions? Oh, one more.
How many students?
Great question. So currently right now it has 44 students. Right now we have 26 students fully enrolled. Alpha doesn't open any schools unless they have 25 students. So they're not opening a school and saying if we build it, they will come in. So they make sure that they have the families already ready to go. And so over the next couple of months, more families will join us. Same thing's happening in Manhattan Beach, but they already have 65 families and no real estate. So we're a little bit ahead of the game because we've got the real estate and then the families, and then that will grow. And by the time we get to the fall, I would imagine that we'll have 40 families. I don't think we're gonna push it to capacity, but we can if we need to. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, do you teach any peacemaking kind of stuff?
Oh, this is a great question. Absolutely. So there is a whole focus when they start to get into the later years of what we qualify as elementary school into middle school, where they actually have to do quite a few community building skills. I'm sure you will meet some of our students. But as they move through the program, they actually have to have a focus with purpose in order for helping the community in general. And they have to actually make a difference. As they get into high school, they start to be able to join global programs where they actually try to make a global difference. So that's where the impact, yeah. I hope that answers your question. So, I mean, I'll bring them right into a meeting. I'll bring them all in. When they're this big and they want to pick up trash, we'll bring them in.
Thanks so much for coming. And then I feel horrible that, is Andrew here? There he is. Andrew, come on up. We haven't met yet. But Andrew, is not a new merchant. I'll let him tell his story. I know that bike shop's been there for a bit.
Andrew from the bike shop, Santa Monica, down here by Earth Cafe, my shoes. We've been on that corner 21 years. I'm actually on the, I've been railroaded back onto the board too with Ted, the Merchants Association, or the Main Street Business Association. And yeah, I've been on that 21 years. We've reinvented ourselves like probably 20 times in 20 years. You know, the industry's changed and we've changed. And right now we're really focusing a lot on repairs and maintenance and affordable cycling for people because not everybody these days can afford new bikes or want them because of the challenges with bike theft. And they can't fix their bikes on Amazon. So I'm kind of like channeling my energy in that direction type of thing. We still do sell new bikes, but it's kind of changed. A lot of people aren't so interested in fancy new stuff, or they'd like to be, but they can't do it. So, and then we also I'm doing some used bikes too. There's some trade-ins and things like that. So yeah, we're still there 20 years later and doing everything we can to stay there. You may have noticed we kind of downsized. I had the corner salon that we took over during COVID and they got shut down. And that lease expired at the end of last year and they increased it to just an astronomical amount that made it, just prohibitive to stay and operate with all of that square footage. So that's when I changed again, pivoted and we just kind of do, mainly maintenance and service. We do it all. So you guys know anybody or meet anybody who needs bikes, we've got them. And I'm, active. I used to be really active in the community years ago when we had the Thursday night concerts. We used to give away a bike for charities like Heal the Bay and Surf Rider and all that stuff. But now it's like just focused on one thing, which is just trying to take care of the community and the bikes of the community. So, it's been a long up and down, it's like a roller coaster ride, but we're still there. So But you know, honored to come out to the meeting tonight and talk to you guys, and been asked to do that, and you know, we're trying to think of creative new ways to drive more business to Main Street too, because I'm on that board, and any suggestions or ideas are interesting, you know, to hear from, but yeah, and you know, we've lost a few businesses recently again on Main Street, and so, yeah, it's a tough go, but I think we'll all survive and unite. Do that, I think so. Hello there, Mr. Rubin.
Did you ever, or do you ever have any, like, bike safety classes? It's, I think would be a way to draw people in too, and to talk about safety and rules of the road.
It's a good idea, a lot of time consuming, I have no time as it is,
Sure,
you know, there are people that do that, those advocacy groups that I work with that do that stuff.
right,
You know, there's some private lessons that go with the kids.
right.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea, it's a tough one, I should run a clinic too for repairs and stuff too, you know, for people to maintain their own stuff and so. These are things that I've got to actively start doing again, because it's changed, you gotta pivot,
You're doing good stuff.
yeah, let's try to do, we can do it. Thanks, Jake, seeing you again now. All the time. Any other questions from the floor? We're good. Ted, you're good, oh, there's one. Hey. Hey, Chris.
Hi.
Oh, hey, I didn't see
We
that.
bought 4 bikes for Andrew and
Thank
he's
you so
also our
much.
neighbor. And always like supported by the Walk It with the schools and give John Deere bikes and like,
Well, Rogers.
yeah, I'm sure more than I know.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah, we've done a lot of,
thank
yeah.
you.
No, thank you for taking care of the bunnies.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming, John, and making the whole plenty of it. Saw the mayor made it, so floor is yours. Yeah, come on up.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Mark.
Yes, there's plenty going on.
Did our fire team get to go over here or not?
Um,
When did you wanna go? No, cause you're also.
Okay.
Okay, here you go, George. Hi everyone, Carolyn Terosis, I'm serving as the mayor this year, nice to see all of you. I was asked to come, and just introduce myself, say a few words about what we're doing over at City Hall, and then I think take some questions, right?
Yep.
So I think that everyone knows, we hired a new city manager last year, and we've really been unanimously as a council behind him, knowing that we have to do things a little bit differently in the city if we want different results. Because we were very clear that business as usual here since COVID really hasn't been working for everyone. And so what we did in October is we made a $60 million bet on ourselves, an investment. And we adopted what's called the realignment plan. Raise your hand if you've heard of the realignment plan. Oh, great. Okay, so there's one. So basically what it was in phase 1, and then at our last meeting, we adopted phase 2, was really to ensure that our downtown, first and foremost, is clean and safe. We know that businesses, tourists, residents will not come back into our downtown core if people don't feel that they are safe, that there's a sense of order, that it's clean, that it's cared for, that we're welcoming. And so there's been a lot of investment made in general things like, you know, improving our street trees, all of these abandoned walls that we've seen all in the downtown, just makes it look like it's not loved or cared for here in the city. So replanting street trees, restriping our crosswalks, ensuring that like our sidewalks are safe. And then also, yes, for the first time in 20 years, we have a fully staffed police department, authorizing overhires in our police department so that we can ensure that we're fully staffed. And then, as many of you know, we officially swore in our new police chief in January, and he's really hit the ground running with ensuring that we're changing up the way that we do deployment out into the community with much more emphasis on the downtown area. So that has borne fruit. We've seen that last year, part 1 crimes, so dangerous crime and burglaries are down 12.5%. Businesses are starting to feel more confident coming into the downtowns. And so we've really been focused now on economic recovery. So once people are feeling safe and feeling like it's clean here in the city, what does an economic recovery look like? And so 2 Tuesdays ago, we passed the economic development portion of the realignment plan. We're now investing $3 million in tenant improvements. And so what does that mean? Have any of you guys walked on the promenade recently? Great. Have you seen that there are a lot of vacancies on the promenade? Okay. So really looking at what does the market in 2026 need. It's not the same thing that we needed in 2000, in the 90s and early 2000s when we really redeveloped the promenade. These big box retail stores where like you see a Foot Locker and Old Navy, a Gap, that's not what the retail and consumer market is looking for. How do we convert some of those big box tendencies into food and wine concepts? Where people can, because if you see the promenade, you know, there's only really one block of the promenade that has any sort of bar and restaurant activity in a concentrated manner. How are we looking at activating the entire pedestrian experience on the promenade and making that something that's a destination that people want to come to? At the same time, leveraging our entertainment zones. Did you guys hear that we adopted an entertainment zone in the downtown? Okay. So, and I know we want to have one of our board members here from DTSM, so I'm sure Sean can tell you all the intricacies and details of what they've been working on. But not just having the entertainment zone opportunity for the promenade, but now we've been able to expand that opportunity to other areas of the city in a special event permit style model. So if Montana wants to have their art walk and you want to walk up and down Montana in an open street event, how do you do that with a drink in your hand? Very family friendly, family oriented. We're not trying to turn Montana into some sort of raging party scene, but what is an opportunity for us to invite people back into the city and improve that tourist, visitor, resident experience? Also really proud that we're leveraging some of these major events that are coming into the city. So you guys might be hearing FIFA World Cup. You heard that it's at SoFi Stadium in June. And what we've actually been able to do is we secured a grant from Metro. So we're closing down an entire mile of Ocean Avenue to do a fully open street event called Coast with a theme around FIFA to leverage the fact that we're right at the Metro terminus. People are going to be using public transportation. They want to walk, bike, roll down Ocean Avenue. That's going to be closed. We also have a contract that we're taking to council tomorrow with Anheuser-Busch InBev. We're going to have the official Michelob Ultra, who's the beer sponsor of FIFA, pitchside club on the pier deck. So all of our residents will be able to walk on the pier, watch the game, watch the matches, drink a beer, and that's going to be activated there. You might have also heard that we're hosting Santa Monica's first ever International Jazz Festival. That's going to start the celebrations around Route 66. That's happening this summer. I've already gotten my tickets. Hopefully you guys will all come. If you follow jazz, Kamasi Washington is doing a whole set in Tonka Park, and he is a Grammy Award-winning jazz musician. So we're really excited for that. And then, you know, bookending the end of the summer, and the reason I'm late is because we were actually just meeting with the Chief Operating Officer of Golden Voice. So Golden Voice is the same company that puts on Coachella. We are going to have the first official Santa Monica Beach Festival here in the late summer. We're really, really excited about that. And don't freak out. Our friends in the police and fire have been so helpful. We're going to be able to accommodate 35,000 people per day. Yeah, and I'm really, really excited to reveal some of the hospitality concepts that we just met about, because for the first round of tickets, it's all going to be affiliated with like hotel room nights. So you cannot buy a ticket unless you're also buying a travel package to actually stay in our hotels. Because the whole point is that we don't want people just to come here and leave here. We want people to come here, stay here, eat, drink, spend money in the city. And so this is, like I said, kind of now phase 2 of what we're thinking about around realignment. How do we invite that economic recovery? In addition to the $3 million for tenant improvements and other items around economic development in the downtown, we're also waiving our portion of the wastewater fees for a lot of these restaurants that are coming in. So if you're a 70-seat restaurant, you could get up to $70,000 waived by the city, because we're trying to make it a little bit easier and less burdensome. We're also trying to make outdoor dining a little bit easier for simple setups, just table and chairs. We are removing the fees for that as well. What are things that we can do to jumpstart our economy here in downtown? And then really relying a lot on our friends at the different business improvement districts and of course downtown Santa Monica to activate people around these special events. So what are, just like we probably went to Oktoberfest on the promenade when we had it in the fall, what are these other really unique events and celebrations that are coming into Santa Monica that we can activate people around, bring them out to celebrate that? And so, yeah, we're starting to see improvement. I just want to thank our police so. Everywhere I go, I hear from folks in the community, I'm feeling safer, I'm feeling better, I see the visible improvement, things are looking cleaner. And so that's really important to us, because we want to showcase the best that our city has to offer. I think that we live in the best city on earth. And we just really need that, well, we're calling it the Santa Monica glow up, we need that little glow up to showcase ourselves to the rest of the region. And that's what we've really been focused on, under the really great leadership of our new city manager, new city attorney, new chief of police. We're all rowing in the same direction, and putting the city first. So I don't know if that's kind of like the quick overview that you were looking for, but I don't know what the membership wants to talk about. I'm happy to answer questions or speak to some of the issues that are of highest priority to you. Oh, and I should mention one more thing.
Yeah.
State of the city. I don't remember the date off the top of my head. It's sometime in July. It's actually gonna be, have they talked to you about this yet?
I heard, yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be an open, it's also. Do it right here with the library as like the focal point and closing down a portion of Main Street. With activations, local vendors, et cetera, really celebrating the city as the canvas, for state of the city. So we're gonna be doing it right here in your neighborhood, showing Ocean Park. And we're really excited about it, and I will get you the date. Yeah,
Sounds fun, yeah.
yeah. So I don't know, do you guys have questions? I'm happy to answer them.
I'm the treasurer here, and I have applied for the neighborhood
Grant.
grant.
Everyone wants to talk about the neighborhood grants.
Mine's already been accepted.
Fantastic.
I'm just wondering at what point we might see.
Get the money.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're doing an expedited like second round of applications.
I know.
I'm happy to get an answer on that. I know Josh had said he was ready to start dispersing the grants ASAP. I know you guys were waiting on that. As quickly as possible. I can answer questions about why the process was so prolonged. I'm sorry about that, but thank you for sticking with us. Yeah. Hi,
Yeah.
and tell me your name yeah.
My name is Anne, and it does sound very exciting. I'm very happy about all these efforts. I think everybody will like the festivities, but is there some thoughts being given to the fact that parts of Santa Monica, like Ocean Park, is also a residential area?
Of course.
And I know speaking for myself, while I love walking on Main Street and having a party, also like for this residential character to be respected. It was like
Absolutely.
like noise regulation that has been on my mind lately.
Yeah, I think that's first and foremost. If they haven't come to communicate with you yet, at least for the Golden Voice sponsored festival, they've done like quite a bit of community engagement to hear directly from the residents about what some of the concerns are. And so it's actually going to be a no car, no parking festival, because I think with the number one thing that we told them, we're like, look, whether or not we get to do this again, like lives and dies as to whether the residents are feeling displaced, upset, and that the city isn't, we're not able to move in and around the city. And so you have to get the traffic pattern right. You have to get the congestion under control. And I hear what you're saying about the noise too, but they just revealed their traffic, because the California Coastal Commission has to approve this event. So there is a lot of scrutiny on ingress and egress, making sure that it's safe and affordable to get to the coast. And so part of that is, again, no cars. So we're gonna have people parking at the airport, and they're gonna be shuttled. There's gonna be like a constant shuttle of people, so we're not congesting our roadways. I'm happy to take any sort of feedback that you have. I think, the residents have to be the first thing in everyone's mind, and it certainly is, at least for us and for the organizers. They feel confident about that. Yeah, it's
Where exactly is that going to be?
gonna be on the beach.
No, there.
Yeah, it's gonna be right to the south of the pier. And where like Crescent Bay Park and Ocean View Park are, the beach area right in front of the southern portion of the pier.
And what, it's gonna be one weekend?
It's gonna be 2 days. Don't worry, we're gonna make it as least painful as possible. And fun. There's gonna be a really wide range of artists. They haven't announced them yet, but hopefully there'll be something for everyone. Yeah.
Just back here, I'm talking about the promenade
Yeah.
and the empty storefronts. We were walking along from Wilshire towards Arizona,
Yeah,
and there are several.
I know.
Empty.
I
And I'm
know.
just curious, like you talking about with merchants coming in, is there any progress on like what kind of merchants are there negotiations for them being filled? In
Yes.
those stores?
I mean, the issue with the promenade, I think as everyone knows, as opposed to Santa Monica Place, which has like one owner, which obviously they're in receivership right now, and they have a overall tenanting plan for the entire mall. The problem with Santa Monica, Third Street Promenade is that they're all individually owned. So we can't force anyone to take any of the types of tenants that we would like as much as we want to. I don't know, Sean, I heard you guys talked a little bit at your retreat about a tenanting strategy that you're working with someone on that potentially. I don't want to speak for you.
No, I'm happy to talk about that now or later, but they're very active in terms of trying to figure out how to both reconfigure spaces and potentially put together a sort of business development team.
Right.
That's in collaboration with the city to go out and try and bring in great tenants for the area, not just any tenants.
So the other problem too is like, if you're in the old Gap space, there's no commercial kitchen there, so the reason why we're putting forward some of our money to incentivize these large landlords to use some of that money is to convert some of these tenancies to a use that's more hospitable for what the consultant and the strategy looks like. So it's like, is this floor plate too big for the type of business that we're trying to bring in? Okay, how do we help you subdivide your tenancy? Do we use a commercial kitchen? Those are very expensive. How do we give you a little bit of subsidy to incentivize you to do it so we can get the right type of tenants? Yeah, all in progress, but LA Business Journal just published a big article today about how Santa Monica's back. I will tell you, when I'm meeting with businesses and development partners, they're saying like, we don't want to do business in the city of LA, but we want to do business in Santa Monica. Like, even in the last 6 months, they culture of yes, when there really previously used to be like a pretty big culture of no, of this like, we're Santa Monica, you should be lucky to come and be in our city. We can't afford to be doing that anymore. So we really, under Oliver's leadership, tried to make it much easier and more streamlined for people to come in and do business here. Jerry, sorry, what's your name? And then Jerry.
Speaking of the culture of yes, I'm just curious if you have any data yet about how much more quickly vendors have been able to really open their doors.
Yeah, so we, I think we've decreased permitting timelines by 40%, if I'm remembering correctly. I can send you all of that information. It's online. We released it in our realignment plan update staff report, but like, there is an absolute, and Oliver's building out the scorecard because our council asked him to actually publish on a publicly available dashboard, a scorecard with like key performance indicators for all these things. Because it's one thing to say we're doing this and we're investing this money. It's another thing to actually like show that it's working. And so I'm happy to send out like all of the outcomes so far, but I mean, permitting deadlines have been much more expeditious since we improved some of our processes. I will say that like, you know, the consumer spending and foot traffic data is a little bit iffy. And of course, around these like major event activations, like when we have the Dodgers watch party, you see an increase, but have we seen sustained increases yet? Not quite yet. I think that's why we're still working, but the safety piece is coming along. You know, the sentiment is coming along. We just need the consumers to come back, and so we're still working on that. Yeah. Okay, wait, Jerry, and then you. Yeah.
Yeah, but sounds really good. Any tentative plans for 2027 when the Super Bowls will be coming, or 2028 when the Olympics are?
Great question. Did you team me up for that? I forgot to mention those things. Yeah. I mean, I think it was reported on, so hopefully I'm not speaking out of turn, that we've been in talks with and are very close to finalizing an agreement with ESPN Disney to do the entire live site, because the Super Bowl is going back to Disney for the first time in like a number of years. And so we're gonna do the broadcast, the activation for like kids and families, the like, you know, come meet the players for like the weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, and actually Super Bowl day of the Super Bowl on the beach in Santa Monica. And so they're building out a regulation sized football field for us that we're gonna be able to keep afterwards. But we're still like, final deal points on that are still coming together. So I don't wanna over promise you anything, but they approached us. So we're working with them. And then I think it's already been reported that Club France is gonna have the official French hospitality house at the Annenberg Beach House. That's where all of their athletes will come. This is now for 2028. We're in discussions with a very big country not to be named for both the pier and the beach as their official hospitality house. Camera Obscura, we're renovating it to work with another country as their hospitality house. We know Great Britain has said publicly they will be in Santa Monica, whether they're at a city facility or a private facility. Because, we have the largest number of British expats here in Santa Monica. And then tomorrow at the council meeting, we're approving a nations village. So they're gonna do like a whole international broadcasting station and center from the park overlooking the bluff. So we are slowly but surely bringing along multiple contracts and activations for LA 28. And we're really trying to showcase ourselves as the place to be and generate some revenue for the city. Yeah. And how did everyone raise your hand if you got Olympics tickets?
Yeah.
Okay, only a few people. They were very expensive, right? Also, like by the time I logged in, there was like badminton. I mean, not that that's bad, but there's no women's gymnastics. I really want that if anyone has it. Any other questions? I want to be respectful of our, okay, yes, yeah.
Is the city involved with ball and the malls and next?
Yeah, again, it's like, yes, we're in the discussions with Prism. We are talking to them about what makes sense and helping to expedite some of the redevelopment plans because they have to convert some of the spaces at the mall for the new tenants that they're bringing in. But it's a private company that took it over. They're moving a little bit more towards experiences because people, like I said, we're seeing that the consumer trends are not like, oh, I'm just going into a retail store to buy a shirt. It's very experiential. So they're bringing in like this big club fitness gym. I hope it's okay that I'm telling you this. I think it is. Yeah, that is public. Okay. They're bringing in the RT museum, like, which is yeah. Okay. So there's a good thing for that. My hands are over here.
You might want to tell her before she mentions it.
Then she might say less.
Yeah. So the thing is that, yeah, I mean, we're involved to the extent that we can be. It's not like we can't tell them what to do. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry.
Chris.
Yeah, hi, Chris.
You mentioned the football field that maybe ESPN Disney's gonna leave for us. What about Golden Voice, and especially since they're like towards our part of town here? And what kind of like legacy projects?
Yeah, that's a great question. Right now, the first thing that I saw that they committed to was workforce development programs and career pathways for both our high school students and a direct pathway for our SMC college students into jobs in the event production, music industry, et cetera, with them. And this is something that they've done at multiple of their other concerts throughout the country. They really want to have a strong connection with SMC in particular. They are putting together like a whole week of programming before the actual concert. It's all going to be very, very localized to Santa Monica with like a focus on what makes Santa Monica special. They're using like a Santa Monica based PR firm, Santa Monica businesses, like that's what they want to do. They want to focus on the city. In terms of like actual infrastructure improvements, that's something I would have to get back to you on. They are building out very elaborate sets. I just don't know if we're gonna be able to like keep any of that stuff afterwards, but it looks really, really cool. Okay, I just don't, I want to be respectful to our fire and police officers here who are very busy.
Yeah, like
Okay,
2 more
Yeah.
questions and then.
okay, 1, 2.
Gina?
Hi, Gina, yeah, great to see you.
If I missed this, please forgive me, but I heard you say something about the beach festival of where they had to actually be staying here in Santa Monica Hotel
Yeah.
to get the ticket.
So Santa Monica Travel and Tourism is working directly with them, but for the first 4 days after they announce like the tickets are open for sale, you can only buy a ticket with a hotel package.
So where
yeah.
does that leave the residents if we wanted to?
Oh, there's gonna be a resident pre-sale.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you guys want tickets, there's a general admission VIP, VVIP, they're gonna do a special pre-sale just for us before anyone, yeah, absolutely. Yes,
Yeah, Andrew, I just want to touch on that, the tenant improvement, if you had considered anything for existing tenants to help,
yeah,
buffer their costs.
Yeah.
Because there's like, we've got trash costs.
I know.
Onto the roof and, sewage and business, like.
So I think we're talking about how do we help you with some of your like trash and sewer fees. I
Yeah.
also think, are you on Main Street?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if you know this, but in our last council meeting, we approved, or we talked about this, but we're approving a contract with Chrysalis to do on all of our commercial corridors across the city, twice per month, deep cleaning, weed abatement, graffiti removal, et cetera, for like cleanliness and upkeep, not just in the downtown core, but on Main Street, on Montana, on Pico. I'm happy to talk to you more. We've talked with Oliver about like a business interruption fund for businesses who have like had either economic shocks, public safety events, et cetera. If that's helpful, but we're still working on it. I can't promise you that there's some special fund coming yet. If you wanted to make interior tenant improvements to upgrade your space for like more revenue, I'm sure that that's something that we could talk about
Well, I'm
too.
thinking more of the line of just trying to, lighten the load and trying to hang your operating costs.
Right, right,
And, maybe, and then this other thing what you're doing with these vacant businesses,
right.
maybe we should meet, separate, I'll talk to you about some ideas.
I'm happy to, yeah,
And, there's some reasons too, these big corporate, you say these corporate stores are black, but there's a reason they are.
right.
And there's some things you can do, like maybe, believe it or not, lowering our sales tax.
I hear you.
And
I
then,
hear
the
Yeah.
businesses, they're not here,
Right,
they can't operate.
right. I know. It's really, really, with inflation, the margins for operating any small business, especially.
They've got formulas, they don't work. So
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Thank you I'm happy to meet and talk about it.
I'd love to see it.
Okay.
And I just want to fill a date, you were mentioning dates, if you're marking your calendar, the coast event that Mayor was mentioning, where the city might be expecting actually 100,000 people on Ocean is July 19th, which is the same day as the World Cup finals.
Yeah.
The calendars, and then the state of the city is July 23rd,
Thank you.
just 4 days later. Right here,
Very cool.
it's gonna be a fun week.
Just want to say thanks so much for making the time. You guys are making it exciting.
Yeah. And don't forget, like, I started getting involved in the city on the rent control board, and so I don't know how many of you guys are tenants, but just know that you don't have to raise your hand for a tenant, but the council and me in particular care a lot about making sure that we're protecting people who are already here in our community. So I didn't say anything about our renters, but we care a lot about tenant protections, and we're working on some stuff on that front too, with the different departments, because we know it's really hard, especially if you're trying to, go through construction, et cetera, in your tenancies, and I'm happy to talk about that offline too. Thank you.
Thanks so much. We go fire first today, since he was, don't take offense here. He was, he's been hanging out.
No, I feel bad. I feel bad.
Well, thanks for having us again, and this presentation will be substantially less exciting than this presentation, I'm sure. But I would like to tag on to one thing that the mayor said, where it's result, the revitalization plan, the realignment plan. To have had a significant impact in our organization. So a lot of times we'll see that these investments that are made, and you may or may not see them or feel them. Like I can tell you right now, the Santa Monica ambulances we've been telling you about for the last several months are around the town. That's directly because of the realignment plan. And those ambulance operators, which are non-sworn EMTs, fresh out of school, they have a career path into the fire service. And we didn't have that before either. And that's something we've long desired to do. And it's also spurred several other things that include some sort of Explorer program that I think we're about ready to stand up, similar to what the police department have. It's really opened up a lot of doors for us. And relatedly, now that all 6 of those ambulances are now in service in the city, as we spoke about before, but we've added a second advanced provider unit.
Yes.
And just today, that gives you 7-day-a-week coverage, by the way. But just today, I saw a report that outlines just how impactful not only that unit is, but how impactful case management is of our highest utilizers, to the tune of about $2.4 million in savings of what would normally impact hospital ERs, which we know are oversaturated, it helps keep those numbers down. gets people the treatment they need right out the door, right? It used to be, you get Big Red in an ambulance, we try to take you to an ER, there's only a couple paths that we had available to us in the system. And then we'd end up in a spot where oftentimes you would end up in the ER without the kind of care that we could get you right at the front end of it. So we've changed that quite a bit. And it's had a significant impact. It's lowered call volume or stabilized it for sure for us. It's had an impact in the hospitals, getting people the care that they need, more definitive care. And now we're looking at all sorts of other avenues we know exist for the APU, but we're being thoughtful about how we do it because we don't want to overwhelm them at the same time. Because believe it or not, it would be pretty easy to overwhelm a two-person unit that's out and about providing all these resources. So that's been a direct result of that realignment plan as well. So what I wanted to be here today, or is one, of course, questions, if you've got any for me when we wrap up. Yeah, go ahead.
Still have McCormick, or
No.
you've got rid of them completely?
No, you'll still see them around because they host the LA County contract. So Marina Del Rey and Malibu, you'll see them up there. We could call on them if need be. We have fantastic mutual and automatic aid agreements with a lot of our partners. But it's Santa Monica based. In fact, so successful that we are currently deploying 4 24-hour units and 2 day cars. We're looking at a 3rd day car. Just the volume, all the way. And so that's going great. I'd like to invite you guys to something. A lot going on with what you heard that the mayor had to say with all of these different things that are going on. I'm going to throw in something else to add to your plate. But May 9th, 10 a.m., Fire Station 1. I'll be giving these around. So Fire Service Day, for years when I was here, we never did it. And then somebody asked the question, why don't we do Fire Service Day? And all it takes a little bit of time, a little bit of planning, and it's grown a lot over just the last few years. We had thousands of people there last year. I think we're gonna have thousands of people again this year. It's at Fire Station 1, which many of you back in your day, either on the council, in city management, helped us get there to build that facility. It's in year 6 of service, coming up by July, it'll be year 6. But please come by, take a look at the fire station, meet the folks, ask all kinds of questions. All those questions you don't want to ask in public, you can ask the firefighter. Local plans or, yeah, go ahead.
Set up a table outside.
Yeah.
For that, I'm hoping that I'm not wrong, OPA, that we're gonna do that.
We have room. We'd love to have you. We're closing the street. Kathy Taylor, who you see online all the time. Kathy will help you set it up. She's putting the whole thing together.
Okay.
Okay, I got one more for you. Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Remind me again, where's Fire Station 1? Is that on?
Right across from the library on 7th Street,
Oh.
1337 7th.
Thank you.
Yep. So here's the other pretty cool thing that just popped up the last week. So you guys may recall, we had a therapy dog, Roger. And Roger passed away from cancer.
We need another one.
Guess what, Mayor? We got one.
Yeah.
So, pretty neat set of circumstances. So Roger, a lot of effort went into what it takes to bring a therapy dog into a city facility, let alone a therapy dog that we're not in the business of therapy dogs, didn't know anything about it. We talked to the police department, very helpful, talked to other fire departments. We ended up purchasing Roger. Roger was a retired seeing eye dog, so like the Navy SEALs of dogs, right? That was Roger. Unfortunately, Roger had cancer, pretty significant. By the time we found out about it and got a couple different medical opinions, there was really only one option. And we can see it in him, his behavior, he was definitely very sick. So unfortunately, we had to put Roger down, very difficult day for the fire department and his handler, Captain Rivera. But the word got out about that. We got a phone call from a group, fire service group, who found an anonymous donor and purchased the dog for us from the same place, Dogs of the Desert, where we got Roger. High level of training. You'll meet Asta soon. You'll see a press release soon, but Asta will also be there. Asta's handler is Captain Paul Belante, who works at Fire Station 7 down here on the beach. So you'll start to see this dog around, just like you saw Roger around soon enough. And we'll bring him out to a meeting next time Captain Delonte is working, and you can say hi. So, yeah. I'll leave a few of these around. If you guys have any questions, I'll take them now.
When are you gonna bring back
Yeah.
the neighborhood pancake breakfast, fire station?
The last time you asked me that, many years ago, I found where the griddles were. That was the mystery, right? I found them. The griddles were not in the best of shape. Let's just put it that way. It's something we've talked about. The labor groups talked about it. I think it's something that, you should take a look at doing. I'll tell you, there's complexities with serving food in public. Cause I remember we got busted for that with National Night Out. That was a long time ago, but we'll take a good look at it. It's something we'd love to have, especially something close here, like on Station 2. Years ago. Yeah,
That would be.
years ago, right? Yeah, right across the street, he does. Any other questions? All right, guys, thank you very much.
Thanks so much for time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll get more on there. Thanks so much. All right, come on up. There we are, yeah. No, we don't do that.
Oh, you don't do that?
Yeah.
Thank you, excuse me.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Very good. Thanks for your patience.
I see the owl's still working.
Hey, Al.
Following the voice.
Yeah.
So we have our crime prevention coordinator. Hello. Here virtually.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, everybody. So I actually just got back from out of town, so I just wanted to jump in via Zoom to say hello. I don't have any specific stats today, but I did want to just go over a quick little reminder of some of the things that are coming up. We're working on a couple of events happening at the pier. We wanted to do a coffee with a cop out there, so we're setting that date up. But aside from that one, we're also going to be doing Burgers with Police, and that's going to be on April 30th at Pier Burger. That's going to be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'll make sure to send that information so it could be put out on your newsletter. And whoever's available, we'd love to see you out there. We want to have more of these events out in the public for us to be able to chat in person. These are just very open. There's no agendas. It's just an opportunity to have discussion and kind of hang out in a casual setting. So that's kind of the big one we have going on. If you follow us on social media, you might see our blue notebook. You have some of the stars with you today, and they'll go over a lot of the things that are happening in the city. And this is based on a weekly basis. So they give you a lot of really important updates and information. So that's another avenue that I really encourage you guys to take a look at to get information that way. And if you haven't already checked out our Transparency Center on our website, it also is a really good tool that will explain different ways to look at crime rates and stats, not just citywide, but you could look at different pockets of the city. And OPA is on there, so it'll also have subsections that breaks down the specific neighbors or neighborhood organizations or in business organizations. That way you can kind of get an idea of what's going on within that space as well. So those are the main kind of points. Before we go into questions, I just want to make sure the officers get a chance to give you any updates on their end.
So who has utilized the crime dashboard since the last time we were here?
I looked at it.
Ah,
Two.
so we had a whole presentation and no one used it. One presentation event, I should go. Well, thank you for looking that up. So we were trying to get away from giving stats at the beginning because it sets the mood, right? And it's like not a lot of good information. It's just crime, bad things that are happening. And we kind of want to be like the fire department. Dogs and cats and all that stuff. So we want to bring like happy mood. So you guys can look up those things. And if you guys have questions, bring them to the meetings or email us. But that's what the crime dashboard was for you guys. If you guys weren't here last week and you need a little tutorial, I'll leave my card at the desk so that you can reach out to me and then I can give you guys instructions on how to use that. One thing that is coming up may or may not affect you guys. Who here knows what the SAMO shell is? All right. So the SAMO shell right now is at 505 Olympic.
and it's moving to the Palms Hotel on Pico.
Wait, that's not totally true.
Okay,
That's not true.
perfect that you're here.
Okay, we're like spreading that in the community and people are freaking out about it because the Palm has way less beds than San Michelle.
Mhm.
What we're looking at is a dispersed shelter model in multiple different places in the city that the city actually controls the throughput into, as opposed to the county controlling it, which is a little bit what's happening right now.
Okay, you guys understood that?
Well, I don't know, I mean, there's supposed to be like a public engagement process with all the neighborhood groups, so I don't wanna like jump the gun.
No, this was by design. We were like,
Yeah.
hey, the mayor's here. It's like, still friend me.
No, but we have been getting some information and we have been getting information there will be meetings. The problem with being the illustrious police department we are,
Yeah.
people don't go to those meetings.
Right,
They
right.
don't engage with HPI. And then when it comes to, they find out information, they come back to us and say statements. And it's like,
Yeah,
well, we're
right,
not in
right.
charge of the movement of wherever. If it stays in San Michelle, it stays in San Michelle. That's not what the police department does. But we are people that they know they can go to our find information. So it's great that this mayor is here and you heard it from her voice. And so you can spread that, go on next door, go wherever, that it's a disbursement to multiple locations and it will be out of county control, because I heard her say it. I'm just repeating it back to you.
Yeah.
And it will be going back into some better controls that Santa Monica can
Yeah.
observe and
Can I just
monitor.
like add on that? So like right now there, I wasn't prepared to talk about this, but there's like 80+ beds at San Michelle. So we've talked a lot with like people around about best practices. The problem is that we're not really controlling who's going in there. But if the city gets more beds under its own control in different parts of the city, we can control who we're sending to those beds. And then if there are people that are coming to Santa Monica who are not from Santa Monica or don't have a record of having gotten services in Santa Monica, we're talking about partnerships with the Salvation Army right now about are there other beds that are available, not necessarily in Santa Monica, that we can transport people to if they are not a Santa Monica priority population. And so that sounds very complicated. I will just say the Palm Motel is currently being funded by the county for this thing that's called Pathway Home, where people are getting stabilized and then moved into permanent housing. And so we have been in discussions with that location as well as a variety of other locations about acquiring a few beds at each of these locations that we could then send people to. So instead of the county controlling Tom Motel, the city would control it. I don't know if that's too confusing, but that is what we're talking about.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Since we're here. Are we keeping San Michelle, the one that's there? That's staying.
I don't think a final decision has been made about that, but it's very, very clear from day one of the realignment plan from last October that we are looking at moving it. So it's just a question of can we acquire the same number of beds in other places so that we have enough places to put people, if that makes sense.
So
Yeah.
Mayor, I'm so glad you answered these questions, because when you're not here, people ask us these questions
Yeah.
and we're like,
Okay,
no.
we should all have a learning session together.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
because we don't know,
Okay.
we say contact your
Yeah,
council,
yeah,
and then the
yeah.
council comes and then nobody says anything.
Yeah.
So-
Memo information about
Got
it,
it,
so we
okay.
have the information that we have, and then people ask us follow-up questions, and we're like, email your answer.
Yeah, okay, that's good feedback, okay.
So, on the second note, we are really enjoying the ambulance service too, because we're noticing the amount of professionalism that come from the drivers. They're eager to learn, they're eager to take direction, they're finding locations a lot better than McCormick, so it's working out very good for the patrol base. Yeah.
Especially from a teamwork standpoint, it's a lot easier when they were working with McCormick. Yeah, certain crews were maybe are used to working with McCormick ambulances, but there's always a little bit of a disconnect when you're not working with somebody who knows somebody on a personal basis. So we're definitely feeling that and seeing that from the fire department. It's been a very smooth transition so far with zero complaints.
And when we go to the hospitals, I'm seeing the intake folks be a lot more professional with the Santa Monica fire department, because they're dealing with a different level and they know that there's a hierarchy that they can immediately contact. So it's been very good for us. And so that's on a good note that we're working really great for fire, with fire. And on this note, 311. You guys know what I say about 311 as it applies to contacting the police. We have a 24-hour number with people who are ready to receive your calls. Also, it provides data to us that myself and anybody at the police department can run that information at the tip of our fingers. When you place your calls into 311, when you text something into 311, when you go on the app, police department does not have immediate access to that information, and nor are we able to research it if it is not sent to us. If you send a police matter into Public Works on 311, we're not gonna get it. And so what I'm noticing, and we're noticing in our office, people are very fatigued. They say, I called, we do the research, we figure it out, and we're like, who did you call? And then we found out it was a 311 request 3 weeks ago, and they're upset that the police didn't come. This is from my mouth to your ears, the honest to God truth. Please call. If you don't wanna call 911, call the non-emergency. It's recorded. We can pull the line, we can do research, we can find out what officers responded or don't respond. The same with emails. Now, if you just want to email me and you want me to know and our relationship, I'll come by, high five you, do whatever, that's cool. But if you want to be quantified by time, there's e-bikers, there's whatever. I cannot quantify it by time of a pattern of conduct, if they're coming every Tuesday or on Thursdays with a large group. Joe can't drive over there and take care of it. Tago can't call all his friends because Tago knows all the police and he's the outreach officer to the officers. He can't get on the horn and figure it out if it's in 311. Please engage us with calling community engagement team. If it's super non-emergency, if it's a non-emergency, call the non-emergency line. And if it is an emergency or you believe it's an emergency, call 911. Please tell your friends.
And on that too, the non-emergency line, we run through a lot of patrols where you guys are apprehensive to use that number because you think it's not a police matter, or you think it's something that's not super important or is a waste of our time, right? Nothing is a waste of our time, right? You'd be surprised how many of these calls we go to that you think are not important, that we get on scene investigating. The person has a warrant or has some type of criminal matter that we have to deal with, right? And it's us, we wouldn't have shown up to that location if you guys didn't call the non-emergency number. Okay, then I'm not saying if you call the non-emergency number, we're gonna be there within 2 minutes, right? However, when we do show up, we will do our best to investigate and try to solve whatever problem it is in that moment. Okay, so don't think that you're wasting our time at all, right? We do have priority calls that may take precedent over what you're calling about. However, that doesn't mean we're not gonna go to your call. So keep that in mind, please.
So things to use 311, stuff like furniture on the side of the road, graffiti, things that are stagnant in nature and immediate response wouldn't help in any way. It just would, if it's a non-important downside, things like that. Park doesn't look like it's being cleaned as much as it used to be. Those are all 311s, but anything arising to the level of safety, please contact the police department. And when you contact us, we dispatch the fire also, so, or fire, we're together. So if it's a fire matter or a fire protection matter, those things will get to the right parties. And now, question, unless you have something.
And if you're in doubt, call the non-emergency line and they'll get you to the right resource. They'll give you the phone number, email, or whatever it is that you need.
Yes, Jerry.
How did it go with the last Bill King's protest?
Peaceful.
You know, there's. They're just chill.
You talked about that last time.
The only thing is, if I could be honest with you.
Yeah.
We're not able to attend annual Baker to Vegas.
Oh, no.
Because it happened on the same day. So, but we are going to, I think folks went to a service today for a sheriff that did die while he was running the race due to some complications that he experienced. So we do like to run that race every year. So if you know anyone at the No Kings, if they could just look up Baker to Vegas and just not have us working that day. That's really
much gratitude to all of you.
Yeah, we just train really hard for it and it's a lot of esprit de corps that goes with it. So we'd like to run it.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, this is on the dashboard or if you talk about other meetings, but I'm sure this is a nationwide problem, but where are we with texting and driving?
Yeah.
Because some I go to, like, nobody's going because they're on their phones.
Right.
And I would just love to see some
Well, the
How many,
motor,
how many traffic stops did we have last week?
350, 340, something like that, and about 150,
That was 200 plus sites. Last week.
so 200 plus sites,
Yeah.
but the stops were 300 and something, yeah.
big place.
And traffic has been
He's
one of
not
Chief,
gonna-
traffic has been one of Chief Jacob's pillars, so every event's one of the priorities on patrol. You get Officer Duncan right here is one of our lead FTOs. So what that is a field training officer, so all the new guys that come through, he's the one of the main heads that trains them and make sure that they know what they're doing. As they come in, a priority for us is traffic. So on each patrol shift, whether it be morning, swing, or nights, there's at least 1 or 2 cars that are dedicated solely to. Your job for 12 hours is to go pull cars over. That's their job, along with our motor unit. So that's definitely important to our command staff and to Chief Jacob. Right, and we're doing our best, like you said, we can't stop every red light runner, every stop sign runner, every cell phone, but like, with Officer Tyler said, last night we had a training car who was assigned to traffic and he wrote 19 citations in a 12-hour period.
Wow, should be seeing more motor officers. I heard them the last 2 weeks on Lincoln, like tearing it up.
Lincoln and Wilshire Ford.
We should have seen them out and about.
Not have anybody out with the speed guns anymore.
The motor units,
All the time.
the motor units are really.
You don't see it in front.
Not on Nielsen Way and not on Barnard.
Not because those are generally, I'm just being honest with you, those, we try to go where the accidents and we call it A's and K's, accidents and fatalities. Luckily, we don't have a lot of fatalities, but we try to keep those down. So we go to areas where those are happening more. The accidents on Nielsen and Bernard Way are very, very low. So we're trying to reduce, the vision zero, which is zero accident, and we're the same thing there. We try to go to thoroughways that are higher for.
But the city is losing so much money.
But we don't go there for money, we go there to correct the behavior. Very,
Wait, I just wanted to ask, I don't know, I don't remember off the top of my head, but if you guys look at Chief Jacob's presentation to the council at the last meeting on the amazing stats that you guys have had in the last like 6 months, just with respect to tickets, citations, et cetera, it's been like a huge increase.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
year to date from last year, our arrests total are up 85%. We're averaging, this is the first week this year that we had almost 90 arrests. We've been over 110 since the beginning of this year.
we're low this week, so.
That means people are on this.
Then maybe we need to go.
I will talk to a special officer though, because there are some officers that like to be off the beat path, so I will.
Like miles an hour when there's not.
Do you know time?
I don't know.
Do you know time frames when it's more likely to happen?
Okay, well, certainly not at rush hour,
Right.
but,
No, even if it's like from 6 PM to 8 PM, that gives me something to tell that unit.
Sunday morning. On Nielsen, did I go to the farmer's
All week
market?
long, during the afternoon, all day long.
This is good information because I have friends in the traffic unit, so I'll go over there personally.
This traffic izzy, have you ever seen it? On Blue Nova?
Blue Notebook.
You gotta
And
watch,
the
if you're not watching the Blue
It's
Nova.
on there too.
For today, Blue Notebook and Crime Desk.
Yeah, if you're watching YouTube, you'll see, I think you will see the engagement with the numbers and the officers and what the work is actually doing. It's one thing to look at numbers on the board, but when we actually explain it to you, we're excited sometimes. Like my week last week, I wasn't so excited and I had to talk about homicide, so I didn't get to do my being going straight to jail, so that made me sad.
You guys would really enjoy that. It's really loud and catches you off guard. Bing bong, straight to jail.
Yeah, so,
It'll be in the Thursday newsletter, check it out.
yeah, so please check out the YouTube. I think it's short. We're trying to get it under 5 minutes, so sometimes we're not successful, but I think it's engaging for however long, if we're there for 6 minutes and 32 seconds. It's still fun.
And just so you guys know, the mayor mentioned some great events that we have coming up in the future. Rest assured, our chief of police, our deputy chief, and the rest of our command staff, the planning for our deployment model has started months ago. So we're gonna be well prepared and ready to roll once these events do come to the city to make sure that everybody has a safe and fun time. Yeah, they've already started preparing for Olympics, and that's 2 years away.
So if you haven't already, you will see some high profile weapons out, deployment on the promenade, on the pier, in the different locations. This is what we've learned from Australia. The time period, and we've learned it in other places, but it's been always difficult for people. It's the perception versus reality. And sometimes we just have to go with reality. And that's where we're erring on, is seeing more deployment of that, because we realize takes a lot of time, even if it's 2 or 3 minutes. That 2 and 3 minutes can really be a time you're shaking your head, because you're in the Navy, so you know.
So if you guys
every minute
understand what that
counts.
means, so Community Officer Hollowell, our partners, we're on the pier, we're on the beach, we're downtown, and we're on Main Street. We're designated that one of us have to carry a rifle on us. So we're gonna have a rifle in a slung, and we're gonna be walking around just in case, just to be ready for anything that comes our way to protect the public. So that's one of the things that moving forward, it's gonna happen every day. So you're gonna see officers who are in pairs, one officer gonna carry a rifle as he walks around. Not only.
That's already happening.
Yeah, we started that maybe like 4 months ago.
Not only a safety thing, it's a deterrence as well, right? It's to make the public, especially citizens, feel safe, right? Those couple minutes that we're talking about involve you guys, family members, people that you know, right? We don't wanna have that lag in response time because we have to run to the car or grab a gear, or we could be carrying around at all times. The second part of that is if somebody is in the mindset or mood to do something and they see us walking around in that type of presence, right? That can be a natural deterrence where they're deciding, you know what, maybe not Santa Monica today.
Yeah, they walk around,
Yeah.
big guns.
Maybe a last question. Oh, sorry.
Answered it.
Okay,
High profile.
okay.
You go.
Is there any extra training going on with big guns?
So we have to qualify every single month with the, the Santa Monica Police Department qualifies every single month with a different weapon system. And then every year we qualify as well, like a bigger training, so yes, it goes on all year.
We have high standards in San Juan Police Department.
If you don't know our qualification, we're unlike any other department. I don't think we have to get all of our rounds have to be inside of the target or you fail. So that is not a standard that's consistent in Southern California. You can get, like I was at LAPD, you can get some misses here and again, you can be outside of, and so it's a point system. Ours is all inside of the human silhouette or fail. So,
And that's for every weapon system that we have a potential of using here at the police department. So every less lethal round that we have, rifles, shotguns, our pistols, us as police officers that we carry off duty, whatever that weapon may be of our choosing, we have to qualify with those as well and keep up with the standards.
yeah, so it's something that has been going on, the proficiency, you just may not know how high a standard.
And then the second part to that, and don't take offense to this, but as human beings, this is natural. There's an ego. And you have something that you can overpower anybody, a big rifle, a shotgun, even just a regular gun. There's also that component. I mean, is there any training that goes with that as a human, just as a human being? As a police officer, just as a human being?
You're saying that for us, like defending ourselves when someone wants to take the weapon from us?
No, to use
This
it.
is control.
I mean,
We are always ego checking. It's a very, you would think we have a big ego, but there's always somebody around that's knocking you down. Like we josh each other pretty hard, so anyone who has like a really big ego, it doesn't really work well at the police department. As you can see, you can all come up to us and we're pretty congenial, but that's by the nature of the way our department is.
Yeah, we have advanced officer training where we go through crisis negotiation tactics and officer wellness is big within the department right now. But as all of you guys know, with the neighborhood resource officers, we joke around and stuff. I do have a gun on me. I hope I don't ever have to use it, but I am prepared to use it if I have to protect any one of you guys. So again, it's a tool on my belt. It's something different from my radio, from my taser. It's a tool that hopefully I don't have to use, but again, I am prepared to use it if I have to protect you guys.
And another thing too is that we do our best to view training videos or do trainings to show how to use it and when to use it. But we also show training videos of when to choose it properly, right? And those are the ones you guys see on the news and stuff like that. We also are looking at those and using them as learning tools and, putting ourselves in that situation or maybe even doing scenarios where we put ourselves in the same situation, whatever that officer was doing in that moment, right? So we're taking both sides, good and bad training videos and learning from them. So we're constantly doing it.
It's hard to have a big ego and work here because.
And it starts from the beginning too. I came from a background. I used to do backgrounds before being a neighborhood resource officer. And we do a lot of screening. The background goes on for 6 months and we try to select the best of the best. And that goes with your personality and your moral standards, all of that stuff. So it starts from the very beginning. And if you want to work in Santa Monica, you better show up because we treat our officers really well. And we don't want to lose our jobs at the end of the day. Like, we care about the community, the people that visit, and we don't want to lose our jobs. So we check ourselves every single day, and it just becomes second nature.
Thanks so much for everything that you guys are doing for the film tonight. This is really, you guys are great, man. And we'll get a link out to the crime dashboard so that everybody can raise their hand next month when we get that question. All right, well, so maybe now is the right time. Yes. Yeah, if you want to go into the hall or something, that's totally okay.
Thank you guys.
Yep, thanks.
Good seeing you.
Yeah, see ya. Just because it connects a little bit to some of what the mayor was saying about the events. Last meeting, there was a vote taken to support the Main Street Entertainment District initiative. And so maybe now would be the right time, Sean, if you want to give a little bit of an update as to where that is.
Yeah.
Come on up.
Happy to just talk about it really quickly. So at last month's city council meeting, they extended the entertainment zone opportunities to Main Street. And what that means is Main Street can have events that include open alcohol, walking on the streets as part of an event. The only plans to be activating this are around events on Main Street. It's not going to turn into like Bourbon Street, New Orleans. The idea is when there are, the half dozen or so major events that we have on Main Street every year, like Monopoly, like Summer Solstice, like the Day of the Dog Festival, maybe 4th of July, but probably not this year, that we're able to create a little bit more festive atmosphere around it. That includes alcohol sales as part of it. In order for that to be actually executed on, both Main Street Business Association and OPA have to agree and sign off on it. And so it's not like anybody can really go rogue and just start doing stuff. It has to be sponsored by one or both of them, and both of us, and we both have to sign off on it. We're hoping to deploy it with the Main Street merchants for Monopoly, which is the sort of walk all the restaurants, food festival on May 24th. We'll see if it gets done that quickly, because that's basically tomorrow, for all intents and purposes when it comes to planning, but hoping to do that. There's also a chance that we'll be testing it out with the farmer's market at some point. Should I talk quickly about the farmer's market?
Yeah.
So we teased this last month at the meeting that the Victorian is going to be closing down pretty soon. As it stands in its current state, and doing a major multi-million-dollar, I think like a $26 million remodel, turning into sort of a private members club. For better or worse, but it's supposed to be more community focused as it does that. I think they're building a pool, they're doing a bunch of stuff in connection with that. As part of that, the farmer's market is going to be moving out of their parking lot and onto Main Street. So the idea is to literally shut down Main Street every Sunday for farmer's market, have it on the street and try and actually help it grow. It's something a lot of people have talked about for quite some time because it doesn't have a great sort of visual presence in the community when it's buried back there. Bringing it out of the street hopefully will be good for it. And what we're hoping is to try out bringing food trucks and prepared food, maybe activating the entertainment zone to try and create like a Sunday fun day and turn it into more of a community gathering every Sunday.
And that's probably not every week out of the gate.
We're gonna try it once. I think it's gonna get tried once or twice, see how it goes and iterate or not. But the idea is really to sort of like help nurture the farmers market.
When would that be?
So that's TBD. The city thinks it's gonna take 6 to 8 months to get all the street planning and city, all the things lined up to actually do that on a regular basis. But they may be able to go quicker, but worst case scenario, 6 to 8 months.
And what's the timeline on the Victoria?
I think it's around that.
The
I think
same.
it's about the same. In terms of when it closes. I don't, and I think it's gonna be closed for like a year or so, and.
Do you know what cross streets that would be the fun zone?
Still being determined, but in all likelihood, it's gonna start with that one block right there, in Ocean Park, where it already is. But that's still TBD as well. Cool.
Thanks for the update. And there have been several meetings between the Main Street merchants. Hunter couldn't make it today, but was emailing both Sean, myself, and John might have been on the email, just saying like he's excited about it. He's still taking input as well from a resident perspective. If we're worried about anything, now is as good a time as any to say like we need to consider this or whatever.
And he's on Zoom this week. Yeah.
Oh, he is. Hey, Hunter, you made it.
Hey, everybody.
Anything to add?
Nope. As usual, you all are perfectly explaining it. Nice work. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for joining us. I didn't see you there, Hunter. All right. So there's no more questions about that. I do know that we have talked previously about the AstroTurf ban that was discussed. The group decided to essentially endorse signing on to a letter that was being circulated by Matt, who is joining us here again today. And I believe at least the board members have seen a revised letter that talks a little bit more about what the impact is on schools. I'll probably give him a minute to talk here. But one thing that I think, if you don't come to a lot of these meetings, one thing that I think is pretty cool is that Matt, this is just something that he's taken and is running with, which is why we're welcoming him to bring this to us and see if it's something that we feel like we should support. So yeah, I guess Matt, maybe you just want to talk a little bit about the new letter.
Yeah, I'll be really quick.
Okay.
So yes, the last time I was here, I brought a letter that was great. You guys signed, all 7 neighborhood groups supported no artificial turf on public land in Santa Monica. As you all know, the city council took a vote and said there's gonna be no new turf, basically no additional turf will be added. They're gonna have to replace the turf with turf. Since then, and the reason why we're writing a second letter is that the PTA study came out. I don't know if everyone saw it, but to simplify it in the 60 seconds I have, grass is basically always better, which makes sense. It's healthier for our kids, it's healthier for our environment. But the problem in our school district is that we don't have enough field space for us to go to grass without being the generation that took away playing fields from our kids. Not ideal. So the new letter, and so far it's been signed by 6 of the neighborhood groups, and you guys will have an opportunity to be the 7th tonight. And it basically asks for 3 things, and it's a letter addressed to the school board. It's not being prescriptive, it's really asking to start a conversation. The first thing is supporting what the PTA study says, that the artificial turf is the most dangerous for our youngest learners. So they would call for a ban on artificial turf at the elementary schools. In conversations with the city, it would not disrupt any programming for adults or for any of our sports leagues. To have that happen at the elementary school. It'd be a different story if we banned at the middle school and high school. That's why we're not calling for that. But banning turf at the elementary schools would allow us to continue to have all the access we need. The second thing, and the most obvious one, is it's proposing a solution to the fact that we use our school fields 2,000 hours a year and they're only designed to be used 1,000. It's asking the school district to look for additional field space. So we've identified in the letter 6 locations where we're not having primary education happening at this moment. It's not telling the school district what to do. It's simply saying, hey, there's this land. Could you at least have a conversation about potentially expanding the fields? And the reason why it's very relevant is that as we're adding new school sites and buildings, the fields are getting smaller. So my daughters are at Franklin, and in 2 years, the field will be 25% smaller because of the new primary education building. It's happening all over the district. So not only do we not have enough fields, but they're getting actually smaller as we speak. And the last thing is joining the city's pilot study. So Tony Lopez, who does our field, said, hey, if the school district was willing, say Franklin, for example, or my girls are, was willing to split that field in half and do a traditional grass field on one half, and we'll do a pilot program on the other half. It would be a lot easier to tell if the pilot program, which is new hybrid grasses and soils, works than doing it at Marine Park where we have 12 hours a day of adults. So basically it'd be the school district opening their doors to let the city come in and do some of the pilot program there. So again, it's banning the elementary school turf, asking the school district to just have a conversation about more fields, and here are some places you could do it, and then joining the city's pilot program. And I'm hopeful if all 7 groups sign the letter, it would encourage the school district to begin that conversation, agendize it at a school board meeting, and potentially, look at these solutions.
Yeah,
More than 60 seconds.
Well, no, thanks for the summary. And I know that, yeah, okay, that's great. And I know that it was sent out to the board members to review, and this was a couple weeks ago, and then it was decided that it would be best to have some conversation. So I guess maybe all questions would be welcome. If there's board members that have decided that they wanted to ask specific questions, we could start there. Otherwise, it looks like Mark has a question. Yeah.
Over at the Ocean Park Schoolhouse, they've got a whole lot of mulch. Where it used to be grass.
Okay.
What is that?
I honestly don't know. I haven't seen that. Is that
On Sixth Street, Sixth Street, the whole, where that little kids used to go there for, it's all full of this brown, wood chip mulch.
I will have to take a look. I'm not personally familiar with that, but that'd be interesting to
I
know.
actually toured the school because my son goes there.
Okay.
They did a tour maybe 3 weeks ago. They were very coy about what they're doing to the field there. You might remember before it was a public park area, they had a baseball diamond. They've taken away the sports courts, the pickle courts. They say they're redoing them, but they haven't given us an idea of what's going to be there, how much grass, what the mulchy bit's going to be. We're still waiting for direct answer from the school board for it.
So we can add that to the conversation. I mean,
Yeah,
it sounds like
nothing.
another field that would be reduced if it stays mulch or whatever. It's important. Fields are getting smaller out there.
Anybody else with questions or opinions on this issue that they'd like to share?
I think this is an excellent thing that you're bringing up to us. I think it gives us room and on how to look at this, and I'm hoping that everyone here is in agreement with me.
I hope so too.
And we decided. And I was 35 years in elementary, and I would aghast to see turf on where I had worked.
I agree. I appreciate thoughts.
But they already put the turf in the school between 5th and 6th now to about Avenue. I watched them as I walked past it to go for my walk. And I couldn't believe it that they put some foam type thing below it. And then the artificial turf on top of the 10 playground, the little kids.
The trend has been towards artificial turf as a policy for the school district. And one of the things that's difficult is the lack of transparency. As you mentioned at Franklin, they'll say it's too early to have that conversation, but then once a decision's made, it's too late to have that conversation. So I think we're trying to have this conversation now, before it's too late, before all the elementary schools that are having site revisions end up with artificial turf. Because I think that'll probably where it goes if the community doesn't speak up and say that we're not comfortable with that.
Do we need a motion to sign on to the same letter?
It's a second letter, but yes, it's the letter that you guys have all seen.
Yeah, so the second letter was forwarded probably 3 weeks ago. And so if we're all in a position where we want to take a vote, we absolutely could. That would be one way forward, I think. So
That we do go forward with that.
okay, we've got a second. This is the board members have to be voting here, but all those in favor, raise your hand, I guess.
Board members.
Okay, anybody opposed? Okay. Do you want to say anything or just?
No, it's good.
Okay, sounds good. And then John, I know you're online. Any comment?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Was that a yes vote?
Oh, that's a yes vote. All
Thank you,
right,
Joe.
so it seems that it's passed and you have your 7 neighborhood organizations, so.
Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, please. Yeah, I think that might have been our last agenda item. We do have some board. Thank you. All right. We do have some board business. Anybody that isn't part of the board would be welcome to join for this part of the meeting. You can also see yourself out, but thank you to everyone who showed up. And I know he might already left, but okay, so Tony was gonna do a shout out for somebody, but.
No, I think you.
No, I think he got out of the.
I think he's talking to something.
Okay, all right, maybe before he gets out of here. All right, let's see, yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Fred.
Yeah.
There's baguette.
All right, so I know.
Thank you. Thank you, Gina.
All right.
Patty, do you want to go? I do know we have our financials to take a look at. Yeah, I can do that. Did anyone, after reviewing the financials, have any questions for Patty? Oh, you did, okay. So I'll let Patty have the floor then here.
As most of you know, in January, I do an annual report of what we have spent and what we've made for the year. But I am supposed to do this every quarter, and sometimes they're just too busy to have me do it. And last year, I think I didn't do it at any, I know, just one. So, this would be the first quarter. And I'm hoping it will be up on, there we go. Because I'll be very quick. The first quarter, we opened our balance, we have 2 accounts, we have a checking account and a savings account. The savings account is just like putting on a little bit of more rug on the floor for me. I don't usually touch it unless we're in dire straits, and we haven't been in a while. So we opened up with a total of $19,960.95 for that month. Well, no, yeah. And we didn't spend very much money in January. We have our monthly site payment for wild apricot. Wild apricot is what we have been using for membership for years, and we're going to see what we can do in the coming time about our membership, how we handle it. We paid federal and state taxes, very little. We had pizza. You can see it, you can see there. We took in $541. We spent $588. It was a pretty well balanced month. Okay, then we get to February. We ended with $20,187.50. We spent quite a bit more. Well, we had good income there with Stripe transfer, which is with our website. We get money. Maybe we can explain it better than I, or even if we want to. We don't know, if people who look at, the web and the newsletter. There are some ads there and people click on them. With the link, people, I click the link.
Anytime you click a link on there, it's, we get buck or $1.50. You don't have to buy, just click the link and you're donating to OPA.
Yeah, and actually it came to almost $600. Oh, in that year, and that, wow.
No.
Because we only took, and on PayPal, we only took $220 for renewals. So that was a nice little, fundraiser. And then we see, we do have refreshments. I try to keep the cost of refreshments down. And we all have, again, another monthly payment for wild apricot. So we're now going into March. March, we got a little bit enthusiastic. We took in $1,075.65. We spent $3,500 and $33.54. So now instead of having $20,000, we have $17,729, but we had to pay some things that we don't usually pay for. One of the things, the mixer, I have to take a look at some of these mixer things. We spent over $500 on the mixer at Lula's. It's a lot of money to spend, and we might want to look a little bit more at those. Again, the refreshments for OPA, it runs between $50 and $75 a month, depending on what I'm feeding you. We made a donation for grad night. Thank you.
Yes.
Five
Make
hundred
that
dollars.
safe in the community.
Yeah. And we also spent $2,114 for our annual board insurance. Same, it's been the same over 3 years, so they haven't raised that. And again, we took in quite a bit of money, and a lot of it was, again, with Beehive and Stripe. This time PayPal was $445. So we are entering April with 1,700 and $17,729.61. And in 3 months, we'll see how that goes. Okay.
And I just want to comment on the question mark for the Beehive transfer. So we did get a new, the Swim Right Academy is a new silver business member. So, and then there are a couple other members here, that it's all in the last couple of weeks. So we're not like,
The problem is I can't see them. So
right.
I can't put it into our general membership.
I understand. I just wanted to make sure that everybody else had like, I just looked it up.
Okay.
I agree that we have a technology problem. We also have a time problem. So we gotta figure out how we're gonna solve the problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what explains it. I just want to make sure that like, we
Okay.
know, we have to do that.
Okay, because right now I'm just blind on everything that's going in to where it says, join now or pay now. I'm blind to it.
Right.
That's not efficient.
Yeah, yep. Let's keep talking about
So
that.
does any questions or concerns?
What is the PayPal thing is just people are paying versus membership?
It's renewals. The people who are in Wild Apricot, many of Wild Apricot has set up with PayPal that it will automatically renew your membership if you want it that way. And that's what people are doing. We have 300, I know of 350 members. Almost half of them are using the PayPal renewal. And that's where we're getting the money every month. People are just renewing. And occasionally we get somebody donating some money every so often.
Thank you.
I mean, that's always.
did.
I know you did. I see that.
Oh, Mark's got a question. Judy.
What's the estimated money you get from the city?
The estimated money, well, what they told me was, we were going to get $7,800 and some dollars.
I thought when you have the county will drop down and go collect theirs.
No, I don't think they're gonna do it that way, but if they do, that would be,
They haven't said they're not going to, but they haven't said
said
they're
they
going
are.
to.
What they did is they said we definitely will get $7,800. Because they're doing it by households now, they're counting the households. And we have already been, certified to get it. It's just waiting for them to get to the point of it. Giving us them.
Any other questions? Otherwise, we should put it to a vote for approval, I think, right?
What did you say? Can't hear
Oh, okay, so is there a motion to approve for the quarter? Okay, and we've got a second. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right. John, you thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
Thank you. All right, so that passes. Thank you for doing that, Patty. All right, in terms of committees, is there anyone that wanted to give any kind of an update today on what's going on with any of their committees?
What was the question? I can't hear.
Yeah,
It's the board is reporting on their committees. So you're not on the board.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right, so then the one thing that, like, I think I had sent via email, I definitely don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I sent in the email, kind of mentally be thinking about where you're at in terms of hitting that individual goal that we set out for the year, right? And what I can tell you, as evidenced by that, technology time thing that we were just talking about with Patty, there are more things that are coming up that if you feel like you want to take something on, that's one of them. There are other things, everyone is encouraged, right, to continue to get further involved if it's something that interests you. That's what I'm saying, I guess.
On the 9th of May, we were supposed to put up a table, or are supposed to put up a table for the fire. Department. Now, that's gonna be before our next meeting.
Oh, that'd be a perfect thing.
And so if anybody, I mean, I love tables. If anybody wants to do this with us, I mean, it's gonna be a little crowded, but there are people there that are gonna be coming and going. And we can have things set up so they may be more acquainted with OPA. Anybody want to volunteer for doing this?
That's a daytime on Saturday, on a Saturday.
Yeah, I forget the hours, I think it was at the timing of the hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right here, 10 to 1.
Which day?
On Saturday, May 9th.
There's a chance I'll be out of town with it.
All right.
I said I'd be happy to participate, provided I'm not out of town with some slight chance.
Okay. So,
Awesome. And Chris,
You're in town?
Yeah, I should be.
awesome.
It's gonna be good. And you don't have to be on board. You're right, it raises. Yes, but if, you don't have to be on the board to do these kind of things. And when we are on Main Street and all of that, and we have tables set up, you don't have to be a board member to be at a table. It actually can be quite fun interacting with the people that are coming by. And we can keep that going once we see the different things that we should
Yep, totally. We will have a housing committee meeting in this next month. Anyone that wants to join, feel free. That's gonna be discussed here in terms of our date, but that's happening. Anybody else, any other announcements?
What happened to the civic auditorium? Anybody know the status of that? The council turned it down, some entrepreneurs wanted to work on it. And, so I'm out of the loop. Does anybody, my
Yeah.
announcement, does anybody know anything about?
I'm definitely not the most knowledgeable. I do think I saw an email that said that somebody correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think they came to terms. And so I think those negotiations are no longer happening. That's my understanding. Okay.
City council. It's a city council question. You've got later.
Yeah. So I don't think they know what they're gonna do with the land.
Somebody here might know, have a follow-up.
Yeah, that was a great it's a good question.
With which land?
Oh, maybe you know, John. He was asking about the Civic. Do you know what the latest is?
Yes, there has been no official movement on any of it. However, there is a big effort involved to make it some type of entertainment venue. There's been an interest from the owner of the Anaheim Ducks to turn it into a hockey rink for the UCLA hockey team and being able to do small events, which isn't going over very well because it doesn't really drive development. And there is other groups that are talking to other entertainment companies like RPG to do the same type of things. Think of the Sphere. So that's where the movement is afoot. It most likely will become some type of entertainment facility instead of housing or instead of a dilapidated building. So it'll be an arts complex is what it'll be. So, but it's taken time. That's what I know.
That's good intel. Cool. All right. So if no other announcements.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, we had the Ocean Park Book Club here, and a young woman, Hannah, had a land exchange at Jocelyn Park Community Room this weekend that just passed, and it was totally amazing. Tess was there. And it was just something, they had tables set up, and people had heard a whole bunch of stuff, had gardening stuff, and, people brought cuttings from their plants. It was really, really wonderful. She was there with her mother. She really extended herself. So that type of thing is amazing. It just, I'm putting it out there. I don't think I have the energy to do it, but something like that, it wasn't really big, but it was really meaningful and very significant for people that went there. And she created these little balls that are flying with, they put seeds inside and it's soil and something else, whatever. And then you could just throw it in your garden and the seeds spread, just very, very nice type of thing. So, that would be nice to do. And the other capacity, maybe, board games or something like that. Do you know how much that room costs?
I should double check, I think it costs like $150.
Wow.
So I don't know if she got her money back, but
Well, I didn't.
yeah. But yeah, in line with the Ocean Park Social Club, I've been inviting folks to have, to join us in co-planning events. And so that's Alexa, who hosts the Ocean Park Book Club, that's once a month, that's here, that's Stephen exciting, that's on the Ocean Park Library newsletter. So it's just becoming part of the fabric of the community, which is exactly what the goal is, that it's not just these one-off things here and there. And so Hannah's somebody who kind of rose to the occasion to have to host an event. And I really invite folks to do whatever they think sounds fun.
Yeah.
And so for her, she thought maybe a clothing swap, and then she had the idea to do the plant swap.
Yes.
And it's a good way of putting it very meaningful. I have all these new little cuttings in my
Yes,
yard. I planted
yes.
in fact, we have an empty plot where normally there are trees in front of our apartment buildings or houses, and I planted some of the
Oh,
peach
that's
bulbs
nice, yeah.
yesterday. And I was thinking about how porch culture that's how communities are formed, if there are more porches, if you're on your front porch. But I don't have a porch, but I have to be out there planting, and then I bumped into a bunch of neighbors who stopped by and said hello, and so that was, again, speaking of metaphors, seedling to community.
Yes.
It was a perfect example of relatively low lift, she did put a lot of effort in,
Yes.
but and how many, I don't know, branches of connection have sprouted from that.
Yes.
And so, I invite you if you wanna co-plan. It's less helpful if you just say, oh, I wanna do this, and then test if you do it. It's like, do you wanna talk about it together, or do you wanna do it, or we wanna do it together? I don't have anything created yet for May. June through September, we did this last summer, we have picnics every 2 weeks in Hotchkiss.
Yes.
I will get those going, and we will have those again, but, and then we're also gonna do another of the jar events, that, and in June. Who's gonna do that? What's that?
I how did that go?
It was great, it was awesome, it was really cool and amazing, and Jeff came, another board member, or board member. Yeah, and June came, and so it was a really nice, connected event. And I think it's gonna be June 24th, dinner. It'll probably be back to the church in Ocean Park, unless folks have other creative ideas for venues that are cheap. I feel like I'm kind of leaning heavily on church. Then I'd love to have a secular option, but, so if people have ideas, that's something on my list.
But even the pies you made and if they donated them.
Yes, somebody else, so we should mention that, another woman on Pie Day had a pie making class in her home, she invited us in her home. That Jeff came to too, and we donated the pies to the North Hollywood homeless or something. Yeah. You could have made one, you could eat it.
So anything Ocean Park Association can do to help with anything for the social club?
I think the most important thing is showing up, is attendance. That's really, the most effective way to support.
What is your organization? Excuse me, what is your?
It's called Ocean Park Social Club.
Oh, well, you know, I just like to say that, you know, you're talking about seedlings and such. And, I just reading, you know, food prices are, who knows where food prices are going to go? One thing that's really being, a big thing that's being eliminated with these high rise is they don't have front backyards to grow food if you want to.
Yeah.
That's important, that's basic. So I'm just saying that's the politics, the way it's going. With the high rise, no front yard, no backyard, if you wanna grow food, won't happen. If you can't afford it. Yeah.
We'll have to have you at our next plant swap.
Huh?
Is that a garden?
I have the garden.
Well, we should get you in the mix, come to the next plant swap.
Yeah.
So we can, yeah.
I like it, and that sounds awesome about the barbecues, definitely need to make it to one of those.
Mary comes too.
Okay, so I think maybe that might be everything. We have some minutes to approve. Andrew has been doing a great job. He's away. But I took a look at the minutes and I can be well, maybe I'm not supposed to. Does somebody wanna move that okay.
I'll second.
We got a second. All those in favor of passing the minutes? Okay, anybody not approved?
I abstained because I wasn't.
Okay, all right. So those pass, and then I think Jeff's not here, but
I should do it.
Okay. Thanks, Sean, we got a second. Okay, Chris, yep, all right. Good meeting, everybody. Hope you have a great month. Thanks, John. See you, man.
Yeah,